Tragedy of humanity, Pandora's box open, Mother Nature cruel, statutory ape, out of season, evolution always in season, cumulative profit margin, extinction, commercialism is dying to Mother Nature, on the plastic vine, the niche ripe to adapt, frozen in tragedy I cannot control. I face it head on with horns of a ram. I bam walls you cannot see, starving for ease. Villain at the tragic stand, no accommodation nor heat to be had, taking the final heroic stab of artfulness, though artless. They think themselves without power, without electricity. They think themselves without power, powerless by their own closed mind. Contingencies are a nepenthe, fading lives shivering from a maelstrom. Earned it, deserve it, experience burns it, scar a toll, invisible pain, internalized strain. Homes where's the travel, homeless, in the home that's a battle. Virgin orgies in the herd cattle, superficial prim and proper prattle. Stripes of the tiger to metal and mantle. Scar wounds and new blues to the sun reflect the moon. My home would wear a dress. Could accommodation be found? Settle with shaking. Trigger bound, nude to vulnerability. Resilience, resignation impound without consent. Triggered mass shroud went joy. In the silver lining, spotted tail. In the red cloud, Oya te ve. Crimson without a brother, daughter, no slaughter, to peace, prosper, heal with sight shown, loneliness lone, mingled, togetherness lived artistically, to the bone, harrowed to the marrow, to a boulder and avalanche from the rock and roll. Liberty's just another word for freedom from nothing left to lose. Freedoms, just another word for enslavement. No birthday suit, no panties, no boxers, G-force and a G-string. Yeah, G-force and a G-string, no problem. Artlessness relented when my art extended. Art waited quietly for its need to arise, knowing my mark's here. Can't delay my artful designs. Importance of art as religion has demise. On the rise, in for an artful surprise. Fun into the drawl, hunger, dime. Who arted? Broke the leg when cut the cheese, melted with ease. For the moment, the audience awareness achieves. I earned it, deserve it, experience burns it, scar a toll, invisible pain, internalized strain, earned, not given, stripe, swipe, hurt, heal, refrain, home, with address, imitates mother and father, impress the need, the lack I express, love, nurse the scars, resilience never at regress. I held on, carried on for this long, reprise the song, will not be gone, enduring, strong, I last on. I'm military transhuman, but they still treat me better than Nazi scum. The Saturn docket, the Kurt DeBus be awarded. What's next? The Womanhattan Project? DARPA, make me a non-dawn dual-use technology which makes mind control impossible. DARPA, make me a non-dual-use technology which makes mind control impossible. For any double ARP, you must simultaneously be making a DARP. The military really wanted me. I did well on their tests. I said I enjoyed chemistry. All they could think of was Ambrose. They lost me forever then. I'm not here to make a bomb or worse. Colosseums did it better, so Roman, and you suck at it like a corporate whack job. My vote is for the 69ers, the ghosts of Shaman, the green of the football field, the roaring fans, some cheering, others jeering. None are hearing the shake of the rattle, cast to gaze by the pom-pom. Liberty lays. The violent Super Bowl day. Another game to play, distract them away. Christian Science, the son of religion, gains knowledge of human experimentation, of humans as mice to the fascist brain in a Vatican, shakes hands with Nazi science. Science is but the extension of religion, the logos to that pathos, is preoccupied with Thanatos, not Genesis. Execute operation. Execute. Operation to kill a mockingbird. Hollywood was infiltrated by the CIA. The beautiful people and the covert people. The recourse of Operation Mockingbird. Operation to kill a mockingbird. Nazi scientist designs our rockets. You who designed Hitler's Royal aircraft, design our stealth bomber. The operation is overcast. Throw a paperclip in the air. Put an operation manual in a paperclip. You who dissect a liver in front of their owner. What data did your experiment yield? American oil companies still alive today fueled the war machine which housed many tons of sarin gas. Once was working on a bubonic plague. Come to America. Give us your science. We need to know the scientific data of human experiments. The Russians are coming. The Russians are coming. The Soviets will engage in full-range warfare. With the U.S. ABC warfare, we must know the data. Hey, I have a great idea. Let's get rid of Stalin and the like by being like Stalin. We can be a zombie master and do covert CIA voodoo. Make a bunch of blood-hungry zombies. Oh. And act like we are not like Stalin at all. Plausible deniability to our covert ops and our public ones. Liberty versus radicalism or extremism, a very thin line indeed, but there is a distinct difference. Liberty is freedom from, and fascism is bondage to. You're a dictator tot, bought for the hot sot, addicted to fascism, fried liberty, but you're a lucky fried dick tainting in the rabbit hole of covert lies, bloody lamb wool over our eyes. America-sponsored fascism, the antithesis of liberty, is a bastard bastion of fascist violence with superficial liberty window dressing, a shallow deception. You suck that clock like cockwork, rather you rooster up my crow instead. I haven't slept, look like hell, don't need to go there. No heaven in these lies, bruises on my knees. Incessant adrenaline surge takes its toll. I just want to fuck one person I respect before you expect I'd slave for you. To home, can't sleep, to work, to earn the right to not sleep, back home again. I flipped myself off and gave myself the vagina sign. Then I wrapped my middle finger in the vagina sign because I want some fucking peace at the least. I need the slaveless harem. I'm going to knock up a groupie spirit and play rock and roll to the rainforest. Taste you later, then smell you even later. Smells like rainforest spirit. Should we burn 2 tons of King James Bibles? Would you rather I burn a flag and a Bible at the same time? What do you think? Which is worse? Which one would disrespect you more? We, the species, in order to dissolute a selfish human union, have the right to life and nature, liberty from controlling statutory apes, and the pursuit of your extinction. As I started my slavery today, my wrist flared pain. So now I will bid you adieu, screw you without a screw. I can't play guitar today because I spun a car wheel instead. I would appreciate it if you let me do what's my passion instead. They're creationists, and I'm a transformationist. A burning flag descends, and a flag with 51 black holes ascends. The flag of my country has 51 black holes because the states as supernovas starred out into the galaxy. The red is in the background of the collapsed stars. Like a red cloud, I am red, black, whole from the white of your lies. The white stripes are blue strippers for the sadness of the plague of these Puritan settlers. If the Wasichu were to starve while looking at Devil's Tower, it might take the image of white buffalo calf woman. Of the pain from my pinched nerve of society holding back my artistry, I'm tired of the indentured slavery. I'd like someone to chauffeur me around. I'd like to get the recognition I deserve. I'd love to get the accommodation I deserve. Art was a problem to a status quo and powers that be. So they came up with a plan to commodify art out of a plastic, standardized, fascist view of beauty. Women could be commodified based on their beauty. Most people could be convinced art is only aesthetics. Thereby, art could be commercialized, exploited, rather than continuing to be a problem. I tell you what is beautiful. I tell you art is only aesthetics. I commodify art to dollar signs. The more beautiful you are, to my standards of fascist beauty, the more money you will make. Beauty is in the eye of the fascist beholder. Like a camel in the splinter of your lies, there is a line. When you cross it like a martyr, not as lacrosse nor hopscotch across. You cross the country, not the nation, but the land you station. With settler's disease, cries out from this mammalian virus. Will bring you to your knees, will not allow you to live this way. Either change or you'll be gone and away. People pry into my life with a splinter in their eye, know too much about me, weaponize it against me. Don't see their weapon in their eye, think they define me, but I define me. You define the assumptions, presume to understand what you do not. They can say what I am, but I am not what they say. I am what I do. I am what I transform. I wish these fatuans would either make clear who they are or leave me the fuck alone. I am a surreal painting that is being forced into realist interpretation. America might covertly fight fascism with fascism, but this rock and roll will always fight fascism with liberty. The bacon getters cannot get bacon. There are pigs and there are boars. It is better to give bacon than to get it. This the Wasichu much forgets it. The little poisonous snakes at Devil's Tower. The Wasichu say devil is the woman. That woman is white buffalo, calf woman. The people were starving. Out of a puff of smoke, the woman appeared in the image of a tower, taking the shape of the devil. Now the Wasichu starve, but nothing appears from the puff of smoke, but the faint whispers of the woman forgotten as Satan. All you can eat buffet flats, Maryland's on Life Monroe, Brittany clubs. The Industrial Revolution is a nightmare created together. A dream is still just a dream on the Rainforest TV, working hard for someone else's dream. The dream of the individual dreamt to dust by the nightmare of groups. Dead individual dreams scream gone before the grave. I feel I've dreamed my dream at their nightmare's expense, even if I'm making profit for their nightmare. No mere day in my dream I will see it come to life, timeless, forever my mark upon the lies, lies with the heartful of humanity, lest I remind you. The man who sold the world bought the cosmos with the earnings. Whole cosmos is really turning in the urn of an ending, spurning the wage of annihilation with the profit of hearsay. I know it's the last day on the Milky Way. We'll never say hello. This is evolution. Fiat moves hills. You crawled out the Hollywood works. The beautiful people created an Antichrist superstar, and you made them change your name. Seems to me you lived without the threat of death, like a wicked candle in the gale. Hung out to dry, freezing performances, powered down for a week, but I ain't weak. Utility hostilities on sustainability inevitabilities, ransom, the REM, edifice of Edison, utility profit margin, cut corners, profit gamble of life and death, perchance a mere errant night for the nightmare in a dream. You scream, I scream, we all scream, ice scream. Frozen breath exhale, domestic horror show, typical day in trauma life. Blue woman is cold, warmed me with her vulva, wet heat of desire from the iced powerless, powerful empress. She killed my ego in the freezing room, in the frigid room. Tragedy romances sadly. You better love this poet madly. Don't you love the madness of the poet madly? Operation Clone. Operation To Kill a Mockingbird. Operation Desert Storm. Operation Partially Overcast. Operation Papercut. Operation Guile. Operation Womanhattan. Close Hangar 18 on the account of Hooker 18. You heard me. You have your orders. Area 69, Hooker 18, Bang Her 18, recreated, cell block 69. Reprehensible design, 404 it to an 86. You heard me. Close Hangar 18 on the account of Hooker 18. You have your orders. Area 69, Hooker 18, Bang Her 18, recreated cell block 69, reprehensible design, 404 it to 86, left to worse than die. Get a piece of this moral compass. Nazi aliens are flying Soviet saucers. Mujahideen Stinger missiles shot it down like a cock straddling a culture body to its knees. We're interested in human experimentation. Open the can of Pandora worms with salubrious invitation. I'm pro-birth and pro-experimentation, Nazi internalization, a fetish for fascist science and tech. Hang 'em on the right hook cross, crucify In name of liberty, no great loss. I prefer to go to work smelling like sex. I smell mostly like pussy because today is like an eternal Monday celebrating the birth of the patriarchy. Horton hears a boom. There's no longer a who. Light another calumet. Learn to acquit. Terrorists have utilized hunter-killer drones and taken out all pertinent members of the American government. Our military command, if the nation could stand, is at Exxon 10. It would. Yes, it would. In the case of Rue versus Shade, Shade will wade, drowned away. Rue will have her day, though Roe is fish eggs, cast away. Shade will wade, drowned away. Rue will have her day, though Roe is fish eggs, cast away. First it was the Jews, then the Soviets did it to the Germans. Now it's the Britons. Ever fucking guzzle stoppers. Perhaps a jinx of the jinkies could learn to leave it jank for a wank in the Serpent Lake. Did you forget the humpha-umphas? Could take you to the skiing sea for a sorry. Wouldn't be sorry. I guess you feel like a rock and roll star when you retire the rock for the boulder, when you nestle over your fretting hand and shoulder. You feel like a virgin rock and roll star when she flashes her panties in class when puberty's just hit, and you never yet hit the sack nor had a taste of clit. I feel like a rock and roll star when I walked out of the gym and they told me I looked like one. About threw off my shades, told them to look like it now. When I deliver that woman food like a backdoor man dropping off the milk, and she delivers me a bent over cleavage flash, signing the small slip with a slip to my eyes. Like no flash sale could purchase my heart, when she tips me eye candy and $2 on the paper trail. In a man's world, felt she said I was more than the man. Felt like she understand I am no patriarch man. Can't help but feel nailed on the rock and roll crucifix and that false authority crucified by a crucifix. Felt like a rock and roll star when I smoked weed before I could leave ND. She asked me to suck my dick. He said I reminded him of Jim. Wanted to be my security guard in my band. You feel like a rock and roll star, maybe a metal rocker scar, when they detain you, cuffs on the wrists, to impress this. A boulder in the gale of my flaming wind. Metal born from the corpse of rock and roll. Play the conundrum for me. Play the conundrums for me. Needle-edged words of a former phlebotomist. Or is it that once you're a phlebotomist, you're always one? Can't stop the dreams of blood filling into a syringe, a tinge of the blood on humanity's hands filters through the sands of dreams. Smoked too many calumets today. I'm laughing when I act this way. Bad girl became an evil woman, stoned by 6, kissing some girl's lips. What can I do? I don't want to feel red nor blue. I want to flush green and puff the moon. I need to cause you pain. I hate you just the same. You'll always be my maybe. What can I do? I want to feel green. My wild imagination to your tame imagined consensuality cannot tame the untamable. I am sitting fire tiger. I am the flame that sits and tames you, not is tamed. A wild tiger of imagination pouncing. A wild tiger of imagination pouncing on those holding back art and artists. A loud roar of artistic embattlement, a pounce pronounce of systematic elimination. The culture body is grabbed by the throat. Giants fall louder than viri. The wild imagination predator goes after the nationalist capitalism predator. Exploitation and breaking of laws of nature demand breaking of the very laws of nature which govern your own species. Don't you see? Don't you understand? Domesticated imaginations masquerade, dictating what is real and what is not. Impossible says impossible. But the notion of some things being real and others not says I'm plausible. And then some. Domesticate imagination, the final frontier of the human mind, save the prattle of the final frontier of space. Only saw more frontiers of the mind. Another trick of the mind, apes as fishes raising out of the oceans, of the earth to the oceans of space. Gills cannot breathe air, lungs cannot breathe space. A virus with shoes would be better only casting shoes into space, for the universe to try on for size. Murder not imagination, face the hallucination delusions. Not all hallucinations are created equally. Reality is consensual. Consent not to the conditioning and bindings of society. The United Imaginations has passed a new resolution. We are here live on the scene awaiting an official statement. You gotta build me a man who understands. You cannot build a woman. You built a woman, but you gotta wrecking ball it down with steel testes. Out of the ruins, you gotta grow me a woman 10 feet underground. Put her 10 feet underground. 'Cause you gotta build me that man who understands. You can't build a woman. You can't build a woman. But you gotta wrecking ball it down with steel testes. And so she's gotta go 10 feet underground. Didn't serve in any country's military, but I served in the domestic war since about 4 years old. I was on chokehold. Military vet and I are cut from a similar cloth, but I cannot be brainwashed. I only have propaganda, like an anti-Uganda. My life has been an endless battle. It hasn't ended today. No accommodation from these cruel ways. A tour of duty that ends upon death. Is the right to life I have to live for the lack of concern your country gives. Serving on the pandemic front lines with no opportunity to surmise. The greater the battle I face, the less opportunity in this monkey race I have to place. They tell me Jesus loves me, and I tell them but he hates the ways of the Nicolaitans. Yeah, they tell me, oh boy, Jesus loves me. And I tell them he hates the ways of the Nicolaitans.